the good, the bad, the odd. It's one hell of a podcast.
Welcome to this episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Odd with your hosts, Mark and Sam. Hi, Sam.
Hello there.
Right, so today it's a Daisy Daisy. The last one we watched was my choice, which is The Addams Family. And
hmm
you've decided to spin off from the career of Oscar Isaacs. And we
hmm
are doing a very fresh release. This isn't like
Yeah.
us, is it? Very fresh
Uh,
release. Netflix release.
yeah, and released in Netflix well, it was a month ago to pretty much today.
No,
But it released to broader release about a week ago. It's
yes.
Frankenstein by Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, well, Del Toro. So
Yeah.
yes, so Oscar Isaac's been Victor Frankenstein in this
Mm.
version. Let's do a non-spoiler bit first, and
Yeah.
then we'll get into spoilers. However, it's an old story, right?
Yeah, everyone
um,
everyone has the rough building blocks of the Frankenstein story.
yeah.
That's the weirdly the media like the generally accepted one is not that the original story. It's more
Yes.
closely the Universal horror film.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, this one is closer to the story.
It's a lot
So,
closer. The
yeah.
only other one I can think of that's mainstream that's kind of close to the story is Kenneth Branagh's Frankenstein. But yeah. Did you like it?
Yeah, I quite liked it. It was very gruesome. There was a bit where I genuinely had to say, okay, I just got to give this a rest for a bit. It's like,
Yes.
nah, that was grim.
Yeah, I thought it was a glorious film, actually. I really,
Yeah,
really enjoyed it. This, to me, feels like the proper gothic equivalent to Coppola's Dracula. You know, that was full,
yeah,
colourful gothic. This is the Frankenstein, the real response to that, the equivalent to that.
yeah.
Um, it's playing a massive homage to Hammer, I feel,
Yes,
for a lot of it. Though
but
it
in
does
just the blood, the color of the
the
blood is like
blood.
viscerally hammer.
The
So
color, the bright color, the sort
yeah,
of the sort of the nature of how it ran.
the
So yeah,
appearance of the creature,
a
really.
really terrific performance. Sorry, a really terrific film, and I think really solid performances throughout.
Yeah,
Personally,
yeah. I can't think of a bad one. So
no. The only thing that occurred to me, and this was before the film came out, I was thinking, they're never going to find an equivalent for Peter Cushing as Frankenstein, and I thought there's one
yeah,
actor I can think might be somewhat getting close to Cushing, and I was thinking Tom Hiddleston actually,
yeah,
because he's got the gravitas, he's got the ability to do funny and sinister.
yeah,
He's kind of almost bodily like Cushing, thin, strong,
yeah. Quite
Uh,
told. Yeah,
and so that would have been interesting. However, I've got no complaints at all
no.
about Oscar Isaac in this. It just occurred to me, maybe a month ago. You know what? I can't. It's really hard to think of any actors that could replace Cushing or Lee,
Mm.
but Hiddleston won't be a bad Cushing. I could kind
Mm.
of see that. Though Lee, possibly old. Oh, I've forgotten his name. The one from There Will Be Blood. Is it There Will Be Blood? Oh, the one who was the bad guy in Skyfall. Him. Oh, I think
Oh, yeah.
didn't they have him lined up
Stilgar.
in the unit? Yes. Didn't they have him Javier Bardem? Didn't they have him
Yeah.
lined up as Dracula in the Universal?
I think so.
Possibly.
He was someone in the
Yeah.
Universal Dark Universe.
Yes. But this, I mean, this isn't a Hammer film, and
No.
Hammer are making films, but I feel like it's a proper homage to old, the Hammer we know from the sort of 50s, 60s, and 70s, particularly
Mm.
the 50s and 60s eras. Um, right, let's start talking plot. Okay, so it's a recommend from us, would you say?
Yes, it's a highly recommend.
I recommend.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very good film for me. Okay, we'll start getting into it. So spoilers from now on.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to try and avoid being a literary nitwit, right? But I
Yeah.
do know the book backwards,
Yeah.
so I'm going to try and not keep bringing it in, but I just sort of. As you said, this is close to
Yeah.
it. Yes, it is. There's lots of
Yeah.
diversions. It doesn't end quite the same way.
Yes.
However, it's very, very close in many respects.
Yeah.
Certainly in
It's got the framing device.
yes,
Yeah.
It's got the right framing device, and certainly in intention, it's very close. There
Yeah.
are significant differences, but this is about as close as you can get to the original source so
Yeah.
far. I looked into this, and I looked at are there any films that actually replicate, actually do the novel? And the one I've already mentioned, the Branagh
Mm.
one.
Yeah.
And it does, but that does it all wrong because it casts Victor as like the tragic romantic hero
No.
figure, which
No.
is not right. Not right at
No.
all. That is not the way to go. But there's a couple of others, but they're like really not well known films, and I've never seen them.
Mm.
And they're not particularly popular. Everyone's kind of. I mean, what's the first go to is probably Universal, right?
Yeah, it's Karloff.
It's
So
Karloff. And the second the go-to is probably Hammer, right?
yeah.
And that's really about it for Frankenstein. Even though there's been lots of versions over the
Yeah.
years, it's still those. So this to me felt like it was doing something quite extraordinary. I really liked how it presented the monster in terms of how it looked when it was first made, and so
Yeah.
on and so forth. I thought there was some really cool stuff. Right. Let's get onto the plot. So, we see basically an icebreaker ship trying to get to the North Pole, don't we?
Yeah.
I was confused at first because I didn't quite recognise the lingo, even though I do know a tiny bit of Danish, because they started talking about St. Petersburg. So I thought, is this meant to be Russian? It doesn't sound Russian,
Mm.
but no, they were a Danish ship.
Yeah.
But they were trapped in the ice, right?
Yeah, they were stuck and they were trying to dig it out. And while they were doing that, an explosion occurs in the distance.
Yes.
And they
And
charge over and try to see what happened.
see what
And they
happened.
find the broken and battered body of Victor Frankenstein,
Stein, yes.
who is still alive. He's got a knife in his chest and he's got a prosthetic leg, but
Yeah.
he is alive.
He
So
is alive. And then they bring him on, and then they're aware of this weird creature.
yeah, there is something out on the ice that's roaring and chasing them.
And
So
looking quite beastly. We don't see the
yeah,
creature full on at this point. It's kind of cowled. You see its eyes, and maybe a hand, but there are, there's something out there. And at this
yeah,
point, we hit the framing device. Yeah, this is the framing
yeah,
device. Victor
yeah,
starts to tell his story.
mm,
Um, and he's begging them, leave me out on the ice. Don't
yeah,
bring me on the ship.
yeah. Don't risk yourselves for me. So
And yeah, so that framing device is from the book. That is
yeah.
absolutely from. Have you read the book before I go on?
I have not read the book, but I've read a lot of like a lot of analyses of the book, so I know. I don't know the exact verbiage, but I do know what happens. Like I
Yes.
know that like a lot. Well, like I said, it is closer. The book is it's not some old sea captain. It's like a traveler who wants to go to the North Pole,
Yes.
who's writing a letter to his family back home,
Yeah, and he starts
explaining
to
his
recount. Yeah.
encounter with Victor Frankenstein
Yeah.
and later the monster. But yeah, so
Yeah, and the ships are not trapped. They are among ice, but they're
yeah,
not.
they just find him on an iceberg, don't they?
They find him on a floating ice bowl. Yes,
Yeah,
they do. Yes. So it's high seas kind of stuff. Now,
yeah,
just the book is one of those books that I think appeals to teenagers of all eras. It's one of those because it's
yeah,
kind of angsty. It's about a creature trying to learn its place in the world. It's
yeah,
has a strong connect. People that read it when they're teenagers are very often strongly connected to the book, as I did.
mm,
So I feel fairly strongly connected to the book. I think it's a great book, and I hear people sort of say, "Oh, it's a bit boring and dry," but I
mm,
like it. I just, I read
yeah,
it early, and I just like it, and I think it
yeah,
works really well for me. Anyway, right. So here we start to get some background. Victor has got a quite strict father, hasn't he? Played by
yeah.
Charles
It's
Dance.
yeah, a physician at the College of Surgeons, but he basically is grooming the young Victor to become a doctor, and he is very physically abusive
Yes,
in
and
whenever
it
anything goes
specifically
wrong.
what he wants him to be a surgeon specifically. And at one
Yeah,
point we see sample of that where he can't answer a specific medical question, and
mm.
Victor just holds his hand out ready to be, have it
Whips, and he goes, "No, no,
whipped.
no, no, no. You'll be a surgeon. Your hands will be tools of your craft." your
and
face
then
is vanity, and like whacks him across
swipes
the
across the
face.
face. Yeah, and then then his mother dies, giving birth to his younger brother William,
Yeah,
who immediately becomes
becomes his
the
father's
favourite.
favorite.
You know,
Yeah,
dotes on him, but Victor just lurks around
yeah.
like a goth kind of
Yeah,
thing.
I do like the bit where it's like, for some reason my father didn't like me, and it pans across slowly, and he's in like basically the Count Orlok pose of climbing up the stairs, just
Yeah.
leaning against a tree, and it's like, uh-huh, yeah, for no reason.
Yeah, there's some great shots in this film. Great
Yes.
shots. I would have liked to have seen this at the cinema. I didn't get. I don't even
Yeah.
think it aired anywhere around here. But I'm glad it's on Netflix so quickly. It's really terrific.
Mm.
So Victor then sort of swears, I will, I will beat death. I don't,
Yeah.
you might not,
Yes.
and
I
because he's got to suspiciously let his mother die,
Yeah, his
right?
father was the one that delivered his brother, so he strongly suspects that his father, the best surgeon in the world, is like, yeah, you probably let her die. And he even confronts him and just sort of goes like, yeah, you did, you definitely did. And his father goes, well, I tried everything I could to do it. It's like, sure.
You didn't try hard
It's
enough, was
like,
it? It's the
yeah,
intonation. And then he takes a trip to, I think first London and then Edinburgh. Well, it's
yeah.
more to
He,
Edinburgh, right?
he he starts his training, but we get this quite like repeated image of his like angel of I can't remember the wording he uses, but it's like his angel of creativity or something, and it's this horrifying skull faced like red angel
Yeah.
thing. It's like, oh
Oh boy,
boy,
oh boy.
no,
It's
his dark
interesting.
angel. That's what he calls it. He
Yeah,
calls it his dark angel.
it's interesting. He chose in this. Guillermo del Toro chose Edinburgh as the sort of seat of where he went to medical because
Mm.
Edinburgh is often associated with like Burke and Hare.
Yeah,
And that
body
kind of
snatchers,
and body
that sort of thing.
snatchers and with doctors learning their art, their crafts, right? It's
Yeah,
kind of interesting, but there's no allusion to that. It's an interesting point.
yeah,
So then he is on the verge of being expelled, and basically he has to present to like senior members of the College of
mm.
Surgeons what he's been up to, and he demonstrates an semi-animated partial corpse to them. Right?
Yeah. He This bit kind of threw me because it's like he did it. Like he already did it.
He did it, yeah.
It's like he already
But
proved that he could.
yeah, because I
Like
was kind of confused. I go, well, this is like presuming the entire what he's about to do anyway, but he can already do it. And he
yeah,
uses these weird like glass metal uh
batteries almost.
battery. Yeah, they're like
Yeah.
batteries to sort of
He keeps
power.
referring to them as voltaic, which
Yeah, so
means nothing
electrical.
really, but
Yeah, it's
yeah.
electrical. Basically, he says, "Yes, I've taken this bit of this man and this bit of this man, putting them together, and he
Mm.
demonstrates it's got understanding. It can do things
Yeah.
with
He
understand."
like takes a ball from one of the sort of the heads of the college and
Yeah,
just throws it at the mannequin like thing that he's got. It is just a torso and an arm,
yeah,
but it
um,
catches it.
yeah.
So
Now, this is interesting because what we're seeing here, right? The original book, and often the subtext of Frankenstein is as soon as Frankenstein creates the creature, he's fully regretful
yeah,
and horrified at what he did,
he he goes
and
catatonic and runs away, doesn't
runs
he?
away.
And like the
This,
creature just leaves.
they don't. That's not what happens in this, is it? There's
No,
another reason he basically gives up on the creature, but it isn't because of its disgust at the creature. That's for sure.
no, no.
Uh,
He's quite enamored with this creature to a
yeah,
concerning degree early on.
yeah.
But yeah,
So that was interesting, right? Anyway, he throws the ball, and then
Mm.
to demonstrate, as a final flourish, he just smashes one of the batteries, and you see the thing kind of just
yeah,
power
it
down and
drops.
die, right?
Yeah,
And the judges are sort of, you're out, you're expelled.
yeah,
And I think he even says, I don't care what you say, I'm leaving anyway, kind of thing.
yeah.
However, it's witnessed by an arms merchant, a German arms merchant, played by
Yeah.
Christoph Waltz. This is all new. This is all new.
Yeah, this side stuff is not
Yeah,
part
and
of it,
basically,
really.
I assume it's in this story to give a reason of how all this amazing equipment gets built, right?
Yeah,
Who funds it and
which
who builds it, right?
again, while I've not read the book specifically, I know he does essentially build the monster in his dorm room. Like he doesn't
Yes,
have some castle on a cliff.
yeah.
Like he
To
just built
be,
it in his dorm room, and it's like, man, it feels like there should be
yeah,
more there. But
yeah, the process of monster creation in the book is not well specified. It's almost like described as alchemy rather than
yeah,
electricity and putting corpses together. There's a lot of description which is really interesting. I think that he talks about how he makes the creature of a perfect form. So each of its
mm,
component parts are perfectly symmetrical. But when it's
yeah,
all put together and animated, it looks grotesque, and he can't
yeah,
understand why because he built it to be physically perfect.
yeah.
That's interesting, right? That's
Yeah, I
interesting.
mean, you get a bit of that. Like
Yes,
it's definitely cleaner than pretty much all the other Frankenstein monsters.
yes,
Like instead of being like big horrible stitches, it's like it's scar tissue,
yeah,
lining him, and he looks again like a very big person with scars, but not a stitched together monster for the
yeah.
most part. Until he starts
Bits of
taking
his
damage.
face.
Until
Yeah,
he starts taking damage, at which point, like he can still move with like a skeleton finger, sort of thing.
yeah, yeah.
So
That's a
he
bit bizarre.
shows regeneration
Now,
powers.
it
So,
appears though this chap Heinrich Harlander, who offers to fund Victor's um, experiments and also provide any equipment in these, because he's an arms merchant, he can get
yeah,
things made in his foundries to Victor's specifications. He seems to know much more about this than anyone else because he specifically says, "Ah, yeah, there's a reason you busted the battery at the end of your day. You knew it was dying before before the
yeah,
end, didn't you?" He kind of knows this, and it's not clear
yeah.
how he's
He,
so smart
yeah,
about this stuff.
the only explanation he gives is that he used to be a surgeon, and this sort
Yes,
of thing interests him. So
yeah.
potentially he read into something that Frankenstein had already produced.
But then he
Maybe.
told, and then they introduced more elements, but I think they're really interesting. He goes, "Yeah, the thing is, I've studied all over the world.
Mm,
This is this Harlander." And
mm.
he says, "I know about the chi systems of energy from China." And then
Yeah,
he goes, "Behold," and he shows him this shape of a human with all these
yeah,
tubing through it. And he says, "This is the unknown system, the fifth system of the body, the lymph system, right?"
yeah,
And then they start to, and almost immediately Victor's taken with this, and he starts saying, "Well,
mm,
that's kind of okay." And then
mm.
he looks at it and he says, "There's the key." He kind of identifies almost immediately on this body. It's kind of a almost like I don't know if it was made out of
It's
someone's
almost like a
body or what.
Vitruvian. Yeah, they say it was like we laid the body on here, lacquered it, and then stripped away parts of it
Until they could find
until
this system.
they
Yeah.
just had this system. So
Yeah, and Victor starts saying and there's sort of him and Harlander are talking. He goes, "No," he goes, "Ah, this is the way to it." And he turns Harlander around and he actually puts his
he
fingers
just
against
taps him
his
on the back.
spine.
Yeah.
He goes, "It's there."
Mm,
So basically, they kind of figure out a way to power this thing so it doesn't run down
yeah.
by injecting it with in a certain place with a certain much higher level of, well, it's electricity.
Yeah, it's a doodad. It's not really
Yeah.
clearly explained. It's just kind
Yeah,
of
yeah, it's a MacGuffin.
the stuff.
But electricity also does become the sort of power source, as it does through every film, almost every filmic version of Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Not in the book, not in the book. But
Yeah, I imagine it was just like a thing back in the Universal one where it's like, well, we've figured out how to do these lightning effects.
yeah,
Let's do some. So,
yeah, they actually came up with this premise in the Branagh one quite cleverly because galvanism and interest in electricity was around in history at that time. You know, Ben
what,
Franklin
in the
flying the kite.
20s or the
No, the
1800s?
1800s,
Okay.
1800s,
Yeah.
1850s.
Yeah.
So it kind of ties in quite nicely from that sense. But then we meet William, his younger brother, who's off doing his own thing. He's also brilliant, but I think he's more of a merchant. I'm not
Yeah,
quite sure now.
from what they say in the film, I think he's like either like an attendant to Harlander. So
Yeah.
he works for him. And at some point, Hollander basically just says like, "Yeah, you work for Victor now," and she
Yes.
starts working for him instead.
Now,
But he's
this is the connection between Victor and Hollander before they meet is
yeah,
William is engaged to Hollander's niece, Elizabeth.
mm,
Elizabeth, a common name in the Frankenstein thing, right? So
yeah.
though
Also, his
they're
wife
betrothed,
slash sister in the books.
yes, it's
So
very confused. But in this,
mm,
he's his younger brother's wife or wife to be, right? Um,
yeah,
Now, I think Elizabeth in this film is kind of an analog of Mary Shelley herself, who was
yeah, I
fairly
can see that.
progressive, interested in things that were considered not suitable for women at that time.
Yeah,
So it's kind of interesting. She's also
yeah.
super smart. The Harlander family are very smart, basically, right?
Yes, they've
Um,
them like to the point where in her first scene, she kind of immediately throws Victor off by how
yeah,
smart she is. To the
yes.
point where I forgot to mention this. Victor has massive like Oedipus issues. Like
Oh, he's got
he's
he's an egomaniac as
yeah,
well. We haven't really
yeah.
covered
So
that.
the entire time he's having these discussions with people, he's drinking milk.
Yes,
Like and
yes.
he's talking about his mother. But yeah, so he's while he's having his
I
drink
hadn't
of
even
milk, he's
caught
like,
that. I hadn't even caught
yeah,
that. Yeah, yeah. He
yeah.
does drink
It's
milk.
like I saw. It's like, is that supposed to be just a filler drink, and they maybe left it in, or just then? It's like, no, that's very specifically milk.
Milk.
So
Yes,
yeah,
yes. So I mean, even in this one scene, this is Mia Goth here.
yes. Who also played his mother?
Wow. I
Yeah,
hadn't noticed that either. Whoa.
yeah,
Okay. Well, yes. Okay. Now,
yeah.
what did you think of her performance?
She was very good.
She was very good.
Insane headwear every single
Yes.
time. Like just
Yes.
insane outfits.
Interesting look. She's a
Yeah.
British actress. A lot of people don't know that because she's been in a lot of American films. She was
Mm.
unbelievably great in a film called Pearl in the last 5 years. Really
Hmm.
good. I mean, to me, it looked like an Oscar-winning performance, but I'm not
Yeah.
on the Oscar committee. They do what they do. But she gave an outstanding performance in Pearl, and she was pretty good in some companion films, which was X and Maxine. But those are horror films, right? So the
Okay.
Academy's not going to be interested in those. But
Yeah.
Pearl was terrific. She was really
Okay.
good. Um,
Side note here, I have heard that apparently the Academy's going to start making people watch the films before they start voting on them,
oh, about
which is a
time.
good change. But yeah,
Perhaps
anyway,
they'll
back
stop
to
giving it to shit films then, right?
yeah,
Maybe.
yeah.
Um,
Hopefully, you'd hope, but
uh,
probably not. But
okay.
yeah, so Victor has now like got the funding, and he's now got a location, a
Uh,
deep, depressing tower in the middle of nowhere, out on a
yeah.
hill, that he slowly converts into his lab, so that he can start chopping people up and harvesting them. This is where I had to stop for for the night because, good lord, the brutality of this.
Yeah.
Like he's
I'm
actually chopping into a leg like that. I was convinced he's just chopping into someone's leg.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I say it didn't bother me that because I'm used to horror films. So yeah, I was fine with all that. I was
yeah,
much more interested in drama. I do like the way that Elizabeth was talking about all sorts of subjects that Victor was
mm,
having trouble keeping up with. She was talking about
yeah.
war, the
He
nature
was,
of war,
yeah,
men, and she also mentioned she likes insects, which doesn't come into it, but was kind of interesting. Um,
yeah,
and he kind of is enamored with her. Obviously, she's betrothed to his brother.
yeah,
Yeah, just leaves, just leaves. That's enough of that, right? But meanwhile, William's helping him build the lab and putting stuff together. They've got all
yeah,
this equipment. He's getting this custom equipment built in, and his
yeah,
Victor's like just inspecting it and saying it's got to be completely silver. Take it,
yeah.
send it back.
Send it
And
back. Did you use an
Harlan's
alloy? It's zinc. It's like, yeah, Hollander's like, I don't have infinite money, even though I said I did. But you
yes.
stop doing this.
Yes, and also the war's going on, which means they've got
Yeah,
plenty of
Crimean
body
War. Yeah,
parts. Um, but basically he's got a plan where he kind of uses this battery power to inject electricity into the lymph system, which should then produce enough power to have a animate
basically
a
kickstart
being
them back to life.
and like not just run down.
Yeah,
At this point, Harlander starts talking about using his own brain because he's been drinking mercury, which is
Yeah, we
awful.
find out his weird cane that looks like a woman, look like a woman sort of leaning back,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
sort of exposing herself, has mercury in the handle
yeah, and he
that he's
drinks
been
it.
using to treat his syphilis.
Syphilis. It is like rattled in syphilis, quite
Yeah.
late stage syphilis. His hair's falling out and stuff like that.
Mm,
And he wants his brain to go into the new body. Now, I
mm.
thought that's the way it was going to go. It kind of
Yeah.
felt like, oh yeah, this is how
Like,
it's going
yeah,
to go.
this is how they're going to get the abnormal brain.
Yes. Victor said, no,
Because
no,
so
you're
good.
just, I'm using perfect specimen. Well, as below.
I love how like not deadpan, but like emphatic he is. He's just like, no, it's just like you got
Yeah.
syphilis. It's in your brain.
Yeah.
I'm
We
not putting
can't.
that in my monster. So,
Yeah, it's all that, and they kind of fall out. But Victor's got the most dangerous hole ever in the middle of the room. It's kind of got convex sides, so as soon as
yeah,
you get near, you're going to fall in it. It's like a
yeah.
mental place to have
I
a hole.
think they say at one point it was like a water treatment place or something like that,
Yeah, well, there's
as an
lots of
excuse for like,
drains
yeah, for lots of pumps and sewer like
and
places.
labyrinths in the basement.
Yeah,
Are really well. They do look like a Victorian
but
drainage
yeah.
system, right?
He's got a climb. He's not only is there this massive hole in it, he's not set anything up. So in the middle of a thunderstorm, he has to climb all the way up to the top of his like tower
Yeah,
and
what a
put the
shot
antenna
that
in.
was!
Yeah,
What a
that was
shot
a
that was!
very cool shot.
Yeah.
But like,
Uh,
come on, Victor, have a guy like run it up there a couple of days beforehand.
Yeah, well, the thing is, he was expecting Haalander's assistance, wasn't he?
Yeah,
But now, well, basically, they row. Haallander falls through the hole, smashes
yeah,
his brains out.
yeah, and also damages one of the bits of
Yeah, so
like
it's
the
bent.
pylons that he has.
So the electricity shooting through. Victor basically gets this big silver thing up, like almost like a flower, opens,
Yeah.
and almost immediately the electricity goes in. But you kind of see it doesn't quite work right because there's a bit of a bend
Yeah,
in the
it
thing.
like fires off, but the creature still animates. Does raise the
Oh,
question
at
of
first
like,
it don't. At
well,
first
no,
it
it's
don't.
but like, yeah, it stays in its weird like cage thing.
Yeah.
And he like hammers on its chest a bit when it doesn't work, but then he immediately collapses afterwards,
Yeah.
and
So it's
has a
kind of,
dream about his angel again. So
yes, weird dreams. But when he wakes up in the morning, the creature is indeed alive and
yeah,
moving around. And he's big, this guy. He's big, this
yeah,
creature. What do
he's
you think
got
of
at
the creature
least a foot.
design?
Like I say, I liked it. I really liked it. I
Yeah, it
liked that
was really good.
it didn't look stitched together. It looked like a guy with a lot of scars.
It looked like someone, if it was stitched together, it looked like it
Yeah,
stitched it at the tendon and ligament level, right?
yeah.
Because
Which
it was
again, that's
almost like a
something he's
skinned
supposed to
body.
do.
It was
Yeah.
almost like a skin body, wasn't it? You could see the
Yes.
musculature really distinctly. It was
Yeah.
big. There were definitely patches on it that looked like they'd been sewn on, but
Yeah.
well. So there was like patches of skin which was different colour from the other skin. So it looks like
Yeah.
bits of people were used to put together. It was a patchwork person, but done with skill, right? That's how it looked to me.
Mm.
And a sort of blue colour as well, right?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, very iconic look. Really like this look.
Mm.
He starts sort of leading about trying to teach it. He manages to get it to say Victor. It
Yeah.
gets to try and get it reasoning, but when it doesn't do what he wants it to do, he's quite cruel.
Yeah. He
Um,
immediately chains it up in the basement.
yeah,
Like while essentially play leading it down there. So
yeah,
it's like, ha ha, the water, ha ha, hop over this. Ooh, look at this little chain here, and then claps it around its wrist.
yeah,
It's like, yeah, you'll be
yeah.
safe. And he throws a blanket over it. It's like, you'll be warm. And then
Yeah.
he runs off. So
So basically, when he's trying to teach, he's trying to get to several words and it can't. And
yeah,
essentially, he's doing his father's techniques. He's mimicking his
yeah,
own father, just hitting it with a big stick and saying, "Pain, do you understand? This is pain," and all this kind of stuff.
mm,
Um, okay, so Harlander's dead, fresh dead. The
yeah,
creature's in the basement. William turns up with his bride or bride
yeah.
to be.
William and Elizabeth show up because they say they were police or plans come out anyway, and they're looking for Harlander, and he's kind of showing them about, but Elizabeth wanders off.
Well,
Uh,
this is his ego again, isn't it? He's so
yeah,
excited to show his brother stuff. He doesn't even mention Elizabeth. He doesn't refer to
mm,
her. He just walks off with William and leaves her to it, which is a
yeah,
stupid thing to do. But
yeah,
he's an
and she,
ego. He's an egotist. He thinks he controls everything.
yeah.
And she goes wandering off. Right?
Mm. Well, she
Uh,
finds the Well, she hears the monster first, and then she finds him.
yeah.
And then it becomes a lot of ethical debate about, it's like, hey, this is a person. He goes, no, no, it isn't. He's like, no, he is.
He is.
So,
But we do see a scene where she says, "I'm Elizabeth, Elizabeth," and the creature's kind
yeah,
of, and the guy playing the creature is playing it a bit like Carlos Frankenstein in that
yeah,
as a child, as a baby learning,
yeah.
which is really cool. It really works. I'm not
Which,
saying it's imitating Karloff; it's just using the same approach. I think.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. This thing from the books is like, it's silent until it shows up later on,
until it can
really.
start
So,
learning things
yeah,
properly. So this Elizabeth sort of comes back. Meanwhile, old Victor's sort of saying, "Oh no, your uncle's gone off on a trip. He'll be away for days." He doesn't
yeah.
elucidate that he's
He
dead.
then shows William the creature as well, and then later on, a bit after that, shows him Harlander's body is like, yeah, the creature did this.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like it beat him to death in a rage,
yeah,
so
yeah.
it can't be trusted. So,
So basically, William and I think is it Elizabeth wants to leave. I can't remember now, but they leave.
William's like, yeah, we gotta leave. We gotta get out of here because Victor tells him it's like, I'm gonna kill it.
Yeah.
And you guys get out of here before if it breaks loose. Basically, he's making excuses to get them the hell out of there.
So he could destroy all the evidence and
Yeah.
whatever.
And then
Basically,
Elizabeth kind of twigs on as the carriage is riding away. She's like, "He's gonna kill it. I've got to go back." And she hops out the carriage and starts running back.
yeah, William follows her.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, he's pouring petrol over everything,
yeah. Victor is dousing it.
including leaving loads of cans near the creature
Yeah,
and all
and
this.
he goes up to her. He's like, "Just say one other thing and prove to me that I don't have to do this." And he goes, "Elizabeth," and he just like turns around and storms out.
Yeah, he does
So
it anyway. Does it
yeah,
anyway. He
they
sets it on fire, and the whole lab starts burning. The creature's
the creature
distraught.
shouts at him, and
Yeah,
he has like a
Victor
moment of like he kind of realizes what he's done and goes back for it, but then the whole building explodes.
blows, which throws Victor
Whereas Victor
violently.
severs his leg.
Yeah,
Uh,
breaks off his leg, hitting him a sort of concrete post.
mm.
Really brutal. This.
And that's where like Elizabeth and William kind of find him.
Yeah.
But that's the end of his story.
Yes, I should have mentioned this is part one, Victor's story. Now we're on to part
Yeah,
two, the creature's story.
yeah.
Now, the
So
creature is chained down, but manages to, with his strength,
no,
pull.
let so let's go back to the framing device for a moment.
Oh
Because
yes.
the creature has now boarded the ship and has beaten its way to
Oh
Victor.
yes, you are
And he
right.
goes, "Oh, he's told you the entire story, has he?" And
Yeah.
he said the creature starts telling the story from now on.
Yeah, this is a diversion from the book, but yes, yes. So
Yeah.
now we get part two, the creature story. The
Mm.
creature manages to pull himself free from the chain thing because he's seen a leaf float down so
Yeah.
to a lower level, and he
Yeah.
uses that chute to get out of the fire.
Mm.
One thing I didn't mention is when Victor does things to him, the creature heals really fast. So he's got
Yes.
he,
There's a bit where they're trying to cut the creature's hair because it started growing hair. And it just kind of grabs the straight razor and quite viscerally cuts itself.
yeah.
So we're the when he goes to clean the wound, it's already healed up. It's gone. So
Yes, so Victor's kind of in awe of this. So anyway, the monster
mm,
gets on and starts talking to the captain and tells his story. So the creature's out in the woods, freezing water, cold, finds a little farm hovel where he notices there's an old blind man
mm,
and his granddaughter and their family.
yeah,
And he manages to sort of secure himself in the second part of this this place. This
Yeah, he
quite a
like
big
hides in
place.
his house
It's
in the
massive.
house.
It's massive. This house. It's got a
From what
load
I
of
gather
stuff.
from the book, he's basically hiding under their house. Like he's kind
Yeah, he
of
watches.
dug a space
Yeah,
and watches through the walls.
and this is where he learns about things in the book and the film just by observing someone learning to read or talking and stuff like that. He takes a shine to this family and sees they're kind to each other. And then he starts leaving things that they need, like, I don't know, firewood and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and they just call it this mysterious thing that leaves
Yeah,
them
the
stuff,
spirit of the
the
forest.
spirit of the forest, which again is like, it's from the book, right?
Yeah.
So there's uh, all that's going on. Meanwhile, the creature has managed to find some clothes. I think they leave
Hmm.
clothes out for him, don't they? At
Yeah,
one
they
point,
start leaving like offerings.
yeah. His hair's growing long, so he's getting longer
Hmm.
hair. He's obviously very big, you know.
Yeah.
And the rest of the family leave, but the old man insists on staying, which is nuts.
Hmm.
Um,
Well, no, they have to leave him here because he's blind and
Yeah. Well, no, they
not
want to
able
take
to
him
run.
with him, and he sort of says, "I've stayed here for this long. I'll stay here again." It's kind of like that, right? There was a bit of that, I thought, or am I misremembering? Anyway, he stays. He stays, um, and so he kind of the creature makes himself known to the man, who actually, bonds with him, and he starts to talk. Right, the creature starts to talk. And they become quite attached. They're
Yeah,
friends, in effect.
the creature. I'm not even 100% sure if it's pretending or it just genuinely doesn't is having this issue. But it tells the old man that it can't remember what happened to it. So it's as he's teaching it, he's the creature's starting to grasp bigger concepts.
Yeah,
So
it's
he's like,
it doesn't
"What am
well,
I?
like a
I don't
child or a
know."
baby. Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't really know. I really the old man's played by, is it David Bradley?
Yes, the guy who plays every creepy old man in any fantasy film.
Yeah, mostly in
So
Harry Potter he's well known for, but he also
yeah, he's
did a rather good
he was in
first
Game of
Doctor.
Thrones. Yeah,
Yes, good
he's also the
friends.
first Doctor. He was in Hot Fuzz as the guy that talks in a way that no one can understand.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
And Game of Thrones is head of the Ironborn, and things like that,
yeah,
if I remember
he's
rightly.
also in Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio as
Oh, is
Geppetto.
he? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could certainly see that working.
Mm.
He then the creature decides he's got to try and learn about his own origins, and he goes
Yeah.
back to the
He goes back to the
the
tower and he
tower.
finds all these not pictures, it's like printed on glass,
Yeah,
pictures of his creation that Harlander had been taking
yeah,
for posterity, really. But he basically like pieces together what he is and that he's not a natural occurrence.
yeah,
And that throws him for a bit. He goes back to the old man. He's like, I don't know what I am, but the old man's kind of got a real comforting way about him. That
yeah. Yeah, but then when he gets back to the farm one day, the old man's being attacked by wolves, isn't he? The
mm,
creature fights with these wolves. He takes damage himself, but he like rips off their heads and
yeah, he's like
stuff
popping
like
them.
that.
So
And a lot of them run away, and then he tries to pull his friend who is dying. The old man's
yeah, the
dying,
old man's dying. He got
and it sits
sandwiched by
him up.
wolves.
But
So
then, unfortunately, the family turn up, think the monster has been the one attacking the old man, and they start
mm,
shooting at the monster. And he takes all these shots. He does
yeah,
attack. He rips off one's jaw at one point.
yeah,
Whoa, whoa, that was
yeah.
horrible. He's trying to
It's
get away,
quite
but he's
gruesome.
injured. But they keep
Yeah,
shooting
they
him,
keep
shooting him.
shooting him, and he basically he collapses after a while. But they leave him, and eventually when
It's right. They think it's
he
dead.
recovers. Oh,
Yeah, of course he recovers in the snow. He's
mm,
just, it's not clear how long he's been lying there, but he does recover, and they're not around anymore, even though
yeah.
it's quite near to the house, right?
Yeah, it's like just a, it's like a street over almost, but they're
Yeah,
in the yeah. But he basically reasons like he is alone. He
yeah,
can't die, so the only thing left for him is finding joy. So it's like joy and comfort. So he's like, I need another of me. Like
yes.
I do,
I need a
I need
friend.
another person. I need someone like me that I can associate with.
So Victor has also I think when he went back to the castle or the lab, he found the address of sorry,
Yeah, he
the
found all
creature
the
found
information about all
about
the.
Victor,
Mm.
where to find him, and he goes, and it turns out it's the night of William and Elizabeth's wedding,
Mm.
and then he confronts Victor, um, who basically says no. Right?
Yeah,
It's
he
similar
just
to the
mocks
book.
him. He immediately jumps to, "Oh, you want to have sex?" It's
Yeah,
like, "Oh, well, and what's that going to lead to? Conception, reproduction? Like it's some sort of super race? No, I'm not doing that."
yeah,
And the creature just backhands him through the bed, and it's like,
yeah,
okay, well,
yeah.
this is how this is going to be for the rest of time.
Yeah.
So,
So he basically Victor's kind of lying there.
people
Uh,
hear the scuffle, and both Elizabeth and
ca-
William show up.
yeah. So basically, Victor gets a gun out, but Elizabeth realizes he's going to try and shoot the creature.
Yeah.
She shields. She stands in front of it. He just shoots her. Basically, it's very odd. Um,
Mhm.
there's no
Yeah,
accident. He just. To
he
me, it looked like he just shot her. Right?
well, she threw herself in front of the creature, but it's like it's a thing of like, why did she do that?
Yeah. Well,
Like
she's kind of bonded to it for that one.
she's
She
bonded
feels
into it a
sorry
bit.
for it, right? She feels sorry for it.
Yeah,
So Elizabeth gets
yeah.
shot. The creature storms out
The
as he's
creature, the
leaving.
creature
He
hits
basically,
like clocks
yeah,
William
who
on the
hits
way
his
out.
head on a stone, like fireplace, and
Yeah,
it's mortal, right?
yeah.
Uh,
It's a fatal thing, and Victor even says like, "I can save you from this,"
yeah.
and William's like, "Do not do this. You scare me too much to let you do this.
And he
Please don't
basically
do
says,
that."
Victor, you're the monster, which is like the literary equivalent of everyone who clocks that Frankenstein's the monster rather than the monster being the monster.
Yeah,
Whoever reads the book, it's the second level thinking
yeah.
about
Like, the monster
just,
is still the monster.
yeah.
Let's be
But
frank.
Victor's a monster too, right?
Yeah,
That's the thing.
yeah.
Um,
Frankenstein's monster is both of them. It's not an individual one of them.
the creature does go off with Elizabeth, carrying
Yeah,
Elizabeth.
it carries her off, and
Finds a
it's quite a
cave.
dramatic bit where her wedding dress it slowly turns red as it's carrying her about.
Yeah, yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing
Yeah,
bit of gothic artistry there.
yeah,
Basically lays her down in a cave and sits with her while she's
yeah,
dying, right?
yeah. And then Victor shows up with a rifle. Does not basically achieves nothing with this. He tries to shoot the creature, doesn't do anything. And the creature it goes on this fairly lengthy speech about how it's going to become the master of its creator.
Yeah,
And he's like,
just
I'm
by
gonna ruin
taunting him.
everything
Yeah,
you love
yeah.
for all of time. Like
The
I'm
thing
not gonna
is,
stop
the problem
until I
is
get some comfort.
Victor's an egomaniac, so it's not like he loves anything.
No,
It's
no.
him that he loves, right? So it's kind of all he can do is damage Victor, really.
Mm.
But he realizes Victor wants to kill him, and so he forces him. Basically, he runs away, knowing
Yeah,
Victor will continue to hunt him. So, and he wants him
yeah,
to, right? Um,
yeah,
um, and basically, he wants Victor to figure out how to kill him. I think.
yeah.
Um,
It becomes like a sort of cat and mouse thing, or I guess more accurately, spy versus spy.
yeah,
Of like Victor has been chasing this monster all the way to the Arctic, and he's like, "Well, dynamite," and he
dynamite.
buys
Yeah,
some dynamite. And when the creature sees the dynamite, it's like, "Oh, is this the new thing? Okay, let's give it a try." He
yeah,
lights it, and it's like, and so he
yeah,
holds the dynamite like in its chest just to see if it will.
yeah.
As Frankenstein runs
And
away.
this is the explosion we see at the beginning, isn't it? With that
Yes.
dynamite. And also we see the creature looking quite disfigured, and that explains because he's
Mm.
just taken the damage from the dynamite and not had a chance
Yeah.
to recover. Um, there's all this, and then finally we come back to the telling the story on the ship, and then
Yeah. Victor's very
Victor
clearly
finally
dying.
says
He starts to expire.
he apologized for what he did, and actually calls the creature son.
Yeah. And the creature calls him father as well.
Father,
So,
yes. Yeah, this bit maybe, I mean, this and the following scene made me think a lot of Blade Runner, actually.
yeah.
There was a that sort of, creation transcending its creator and showing more humanity than its creator, right? There's
Yeah.
that element to it. Basically, he tells the creatures to live.
Mm.
So the creature climbs off. The captain has to harsh back the crew saying, Let it be,
Yeah.
let it leave." So it just climbs down, and the ship is stuck in ice.
Yeah. The creature gives it a push and
Just
it
with its
starts.
strength, pushes it and
Yeah.
gets out of there. Now we have seen the crew asking the captain right at the beginning, the crew saying, "We need to turn back, Captain." And the captain's like,
Yeah.
"We're here for a mission. We are going on. We're going
Yeah.
on. I don't care what we're doing. We're going on." Obviously, he's learned from Frankenstein that blind ambition and desire to get a goal without figuring out is a bad thing.
Yeah.
So when they break off, the captain's like, "Yes, turn round. We are returning home." Um,
Mm.
and then you just see the creature watching the ship.
And then, yeah, it literally walks off into the sunset
Yeah,
or
with his hands
sunrise.
up, a bit like
Yeah.
Carlos, reaching up for the sunlight kind of
Yeah.
moment. Um, how cool! What a cool film.
Yeah. Really fun. Like,
Yeah, it really works
very
for me.
pretty.
This.
So,
I will, if this ever comes out on 4K, and I'm sure it will, I will be getting it for sure.
okay.
To put with my 4K Dracula.
Yeah.
That'll be a sort of. I really like the fact he clearly loved his hammer, does Del Toro. Um,
Yeah.
it's just a marvelous.
I think Frankenstein, I think he said I think it's like 20 years ago or something like that. Back when he was making Hellboy films, it's like, my goal film is to do Frankenstein.
And he did a great job, yeah, I'd
Yeah,
say.
he said he wanted to make a faithful Miltonian tragedy version of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
Yeah, and doesn't the creature actually read Milton at one point in the shack? I think he finds a set of
I
books and he reads them.
didn't notice that.
Yeah,
I
I think
didn't
it's a
recognize.
blink and you miss it, but
Yeah.
and I think they mentioned it's the last one on the list or something. But that is again from basically I can't remember what the creature in the book finds two books, right?
Yeah.
And one of them's Paradise Lost.
Yes. That I
And
remember the old man did say that he was giving that to the creature. So
yeah,
to read.
because the creature strongly associates with Satan, Lucifer being
Yeah.
thrown out of heaven, but learning to rule it's better to rule in hell than serve in heaven,
Yeah.
is what Lucifer, Satan says in there. And the creature kind of gets that kind of bent to it.
Yeah.
Could have gone a lot of ways because at one point when Mia Goth was severely shot, I was wondering, are they going to make a bride? Is it going to go
Yeah.
that way?
That could.
But yeah, it was rather terrific film.
Hmm.
Where would you put this in the pantheon of Frankenstein films?
I'd put this quite far up there.
I'd put it second to first.
Yeah.
Second.
Like the original is just so iconic and
Yeah,
basically sets out what Frankenstein has been in the sort of cultural zeitgeist for
yeah, yeah.
nearly 100 years.
Yeah,
So
the first one is terrific, but I have to say, I always put Bride of Frankenstein as the best Frankenstein film. I know it's really far away from the story, but just such a terrific
yeah,
film. I would put this number 2, and I'd put the 31 Frankenstein number 3. That would be
okay,
my listing. However, I do really like things like Curse of Frankenstein and a couple of the other
yeah,
Frankenstein. Mainly because Cushing, well, no, not just Cushing. It's the whole Hammer thing, right? But Cushing is so fantastic as
yeah,
Frankenstein, right? But I really like this. I like the familial stuff. The fact that he started to act towards the creature like his father acted towards him.
yeah,
There was the Oedipal stuff.
yeah,
There was the sort of need to create. There was all
yeah,
this. The weird one for me was the Harlander stuff, but it kind of made sense to me.
yeah.
In
Like
terms of
without him actually
making a
being
movie.
without him being at a university where he might be able to get the equipment.
Yeah.
I don't see how he's getting the equipment without adding a character.
Well,
So,
the only other way is the Frankenstein family is super rich, and he's the
yeah,
oldest son. Therefore, he's the Baron. Therefore, he's got access to money. That was the
yeah,
other way it could have gone. And also the whole Elizabeth being Hollander's least
yeah.
rather than being.
Also, there was the weird subplot about the Frankensteins basically becoming poor slowly over the course of it.
Yes, that gets mentioned.
Which
They do have to rely on
yeah,
someone else, right? Yes, yeah.
yeah. But they keep bringing it up after the creature's been made. That like at the very end, William's basically like, yeah, we've essentially got nothing. here. Like, there's no money left. I've had
So
to
they have
sell
to
off all the
make, yeah,
plantations
yeah,
to fund this. So
yeah. They had to basically both make their own way in the world somehow or other,
yeah,
right? So yes, I also really like the creature's look and feel, which we've already talked about. But I
yeah.
want to mention the some of the original artwork of the creature is really interesting because
Oh yeah.
he looks a well defined kind of muscular creature in that original artwork that came with, I think, the second edition of Frankenstein. Um,
Mm,
but he's also, it's almost like a stained glass. You know, it's black and white.
yeah.
It looks like it's designed for a stained glass window. There's such sharp, sharp lines within those
Mm.
images. And this creature looked like that. So I don't know if that was deliberate or if I'm just connecting it or if it
Probably
was a deliberate.
deliberate.
It's
Like
possibly
Del
deliberate.
Toro seems like the sort of person that's read every version of Frankenstein, every sort
After
of
this,
publication, and seen all the possible
yeah,
artwork.
after this, go look up if you can find. I'm doing it from distant memory, right? So
Yeah.
see if you think the same. Then,
What's it? What did you say? Second edition?
I think the art illustrations only started in the second edition, where she did quite a bit of rewriting. Because in those editions, I think she changed the nature of Elizabeth from being a further away cousin than she was in the first editions, because
Yeah.
it was a bit, even in Victoria,
Yeah.
but I can't remember the specifics, but I know she did some rewriting for the second edition. Only a little, just to make some things work a little
It's
better.
just coming up with like regular book covers.
Okay,
It
I'll see if I can
just
find
says
it and I'll,
Frankenstein.
I'll
Yeah, see if you can
forward.
find
I'll
it
see
and
if I can find what I was
send a
talking
picture.
about, and
Yeah.
then I'll see for myself if I was right or wrong as well.
Yeah.
Actually, 'cause I'm doing it all from long memory.
And a lot of Karloff Karloff's Frankenstein.
So yeah, all right. Let's score and then we'll wind up. So what? So would you score this?
I put this at 9 out of 10.
I
Like
put it at
easy.
9 out of 10. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
Suspect it will go up with
Yeah.
rewatches. Um,
That's entirely
I
possible.
think I might have missed some stuff. I certainly missed a few things you've mentioned. I did not
Yeah.
realise Mia Goth was also his mother, for example.
Yeah.
Um, I
I
really
did
like.
notice she basically wears a red wedding dress the entire time. And
Yeah.
then as she's about to give birth, she is bleeding heavily and smears all that blood over Frankenstein himself. So
Yes,
yeah,
yes. Yeah, blood is a constant motif in this.
yeah,
Um, again, that could be hammer or it could be because it's
yeah,
blood, right?
yeah.
um, but yes, this is a very, very, very good film. It
Mm,
might even be a masterpiece. Not sure
yeah,
yet. It needs a bit of settling time, I
yeah.
think. But yeah, really,
But
really
Del
solid.
Toro's consistently good with this sort of thing. So yeah,
Yeah, Del Toro just makes great films. He's made so
yeah.
Crimson Peaks he made a little while before this, and this has got a similar look and feel.
Mm,
Though I didn't find that. And funny enough, Tom Hiddleston was in that. Weirdly,
okay.
I'd totally
Yeah.
forgotten that. But the story was a bit too meandering for my liking. But
Yeah.
however, Del Toro's
Yeah.
always, Pan's Labyrinth,
Yeah,
Devil's
Pan's Labyrinth,
Bagpipe,
Hellboy, the
um,
Hellboy films, those are a bit more
yeah,
like
Hellboy,
schlocky, but yeah,
The Shape of Water.
yeah. If you haven't seen his Pinocchio, I do highly recommend
Yeah,
it.
I haven't. I saw
So,
his TV series. The
Troll
box of some.
Hunters.
No, it was something like the
Oh,
Box of Unearthly Delights or something like that. It was an anthology horror series.
okay.
That was very.
Cabinet of Curiosities.
That's it
Yeah.
on Netflix. I think I only saw a few of those, but they were very good as well.
Mm.
Really like those. So we like Guillermo del Toro, don't we?
Yeah.
That's it. Okay, really solid film.
Mm.
Right, I think we'll wind up there. Really happy to do this in Daisy Daisy. It's kind of a change because we do some
Yeah.
weird stuff in Daisy Daisy, which is
Yeah.
part of its charm and joy, right? But it's
Yeah.
really nice to actually just happen to intersect into something that is a great film and has just come out. That's really happy.
Mm.
Horror's having a good year generally. I mean,
Yeah.
Sinners, The Long Walk, The Monkey. I've really enjoyed a lot. I haven't seen a few. Like I've heard a really good, like The Weapons. I need to get to those.
Yeah.
Um,
Weapons is supposed to be really good.
yeah, but this was absolutely excellent. Absolutely excellent. All right, let's wind down there. So, bye from me.
Bye.